What's up, guys? This is another episode of Off the Post, and I'm your host, DJ Redcat Fred Durst. I just got done watching Germany beat down a team. I don't know about you, so I guess you can say it's been a good day for me. What have you guys been up to? Oh, I'm sorry I can't hear you, but you can hear me. Anyway, this is our panel. This show that is going to be like exclusively on the U.S. Women's National Team, really, with a little bit of NWSL sprinkled on the top, I guess. Like a little salt or pepper. But we really want to focus on the U.S. Women's National Team this game because last week we did a show that was talking about all the World Cup teams. So I thought it'd be cool if we just gave this one to the U.S. Women's National Team fans. If you're a fangirl, you might want to turn off now because things are going to get real. All right, let's talk to our guest. Everyone smiled. All right, let's talk to the panelists down here. Jennifer, how you been doing?
I'm alright. The usual. How are you doing?
I'm all right, just hanging in there right now. What's up, Jack? Have you been enjoying the World Cup so far?
I definitely enjoyed Thailand's performance today. And Ivory Coast. How could you not root for those two underdogs? Though I have to admit that beatdown from Germany was hard to watch after a while. But deep down, I really was cheering for Ivory Coast to at least put one in. But
Yeah,
another good day of World Cup action.
that's how I was. I wanted one, even though when I wanted them to get one, I wanted Germany to get 20. Graham, what have you been up to lately, buddy?
Just working a lot.
Say hello.
Soccer.
It's understandable. Try to get some time to relax. As you guys know, if you want to say anything to us, and if you're watching live, you can use the hashtag WOSOTalk. If you're not watching live, you want to send us a question later on when you see this show during the week, just send it to our Tumblr, Facebook, or Twitter account, and we'll get back to you. All right, guys, we're going to try to get through the NWSL action as quick as possible. I'm not trying to, gloss over this league. I'm just trying to push it aside since we got so much World Cup stuff that we want to talk about. We're going to start with the Spirit first, and I guess this is going to be your area of expertise, Jen, because for some reason the stream didn't work for me. I'm guessing my computer didn't like it, or maybe it didn't like
us.
Right? Did not work.
Tried to be prepared this time because I wasn't in Chicago.
And we didn't get a stream. Jen, our correspondent from Washington, tell us what happened.
Yeah, that's weird that the stream didn't work. I didn't realize it wasn't working. But
Is it really weird that the stream didn't work, though? Hold up. Let's be real here. Is it weird that the stream didn't work?
Nah.
Okay, it's not weird that the stream didn't work. It's weird that the stream wasn't up at all. They never work, but they're usually up. You can be like, oh, hey, I think that little pixel down there might be Kelsey Weiss. Like, normally that's how it rolls, but it's weird it wasn't up at all. DaCosta scored a goal for us, and 1 minute later, Maddie Evans tied it up for Boston. So on our end, the usual, Crystal Dunn was down toward the box, making chances. I think the problem is we're missing Franny Ortega while she's up playing for Nigeria right now, because as much as I absolutely adore Amanda DaCosta and Laura Del Rio, they just can't keep up with Crystal Dunn, and I never thought in this lifetime that I would say Crystal Dunn's speed is a problem for us, but no one can keep up with her, so she gets down there, and then she's stuck because she has no one to pass the ball to. But the Maddie Evans goal, Kelsey Weiss couldn't do anything about that. Maddie Evans placed it perfectly, but it was a crappy clearance from one of our defenders, and I think they knew that right away. The minute it went off the Evans foot, they just kind of knew it was going in. So... But there were a lot of chances. There was a lot of stuff happening. In the end, we just couldn't get the win, but that's all right because we're still undefeated at home, so we'll take that. We play Chicago. You guys down there, Graham. We take on you all June 20th, so I'm driving 13 and a half hours to that game. So I'll see you there, Graham.
You got me by 10 hours. I'm only driving 3.
Dedication. Loyalty to my team right here.
Oh, that should be good. I'm glad you're driving out there. But as you said, it looked like a game where the goal that Boston did score, I couldn't believe it. It was one of those. It was a nice goal. You wouldn't expect them to win it how it looped in like that. But other than that, that's been the problem with Washington the whole year, to be honest. Actually, I meant the Breakers goal, the goal they scored. But with the Spirit, the problem's been all year. You'll see Dunn take on about 3 or 4 people, get down there, and then she crosses in the box, and there's no one there. So hopefully, like you said, maybe a little bit of help because, how many times, even the announcers keep saying it every game, if only someone would keep up with her. And it's just like, well, they haven't been keeping up with her, so maybe they need to go about this a bit differently using their speed. Who would have thought speed could be a problem, to be honest? Graham, give us some.
I'm kind of hoping Franny Ortega gets knocked out of the World Cup early just so she can come back to us.
Yeah, I'm hoping a few people get knocked out early for Sky Blue, but we'll talk about that later. Graham, tell us what you know about Chicago Red Stars game against Washington Flash real quick. I mean, Western New York Flash.
Washington Flash continue to be a thorn in the Red Star side. Rory Dames is still looking for that win against them. I know he wants it. And as far as game goes and timing for a loss, it couldn't have really been better. They played a really good game. They had a couple of goals, that couple of lucky passes, couple of really phenomenal volleys. So overall, great game. Have to shout out to Sofia Huerta, still proving why she is one of the best rookies in the league, and definitely placing a big bid for Chicago to produce its second Rookie of the Year talent. She will not be denied, plain and simple. Gonna get goals. As soon as she missed the PK, she got it right back off the corner. So the girl has no quit in her.
Yeah, she's been absolutely amazing. I mean, that's been one of the great little unknown surprises of the NWSL. It's kind of shocking though what happened with the Flash in that game. I guess we shouldn't be too shocked because the Flash have been very strong at home this year. They've been a real tough team. They just seem for every team, even when they won't even have a lot of possession sometimes when they're on the road, and they'll still get great chances. So at home, they usually are pretty dominant, which is kind of weird. And as we were talking about it on the Flash preview, I remember they could be a team that could really probably shock a few people and probably get up in that 5th or 6th position if they keep playing like this. So I didn't expect Chicago to lose, to be honest. I remember watching that game thinking, it'll probably be a draw because the Flash will hold them at home because they're tough at home. But they
a couple things I think from that game, a couple of conclusions I drew from that game. One is that, as Graham said, that loss couldn't have come at a better time for Chicago. They're going into the bye next week, and then they go back home to play Washington. I think the most difficult part for Chicago, one of the reasons they lost to that Western New York team, granted Western New York put up a great second half in particular, all credit goes to them, but I think for Chicago being on the road as long as they've been, it really started to wear on them mentally and a little bit physically. They were on the road for 4 or 5 weeks almost now. So that loss, their first loss, couldn't have come at a better time. And then, I think another conclusion I got from that game was that these last couple weeks, NWSL action has been somewhat unpredictable. Teams that shouldn't be winning are holding in there. More dominant teams are kind of faltering a little bit and not picking up the results that they want. So I think with international players gone, I think we're seeing a shakeup in the table and the way games are falling. And I think when all is said and done and World Cup players come back, they're going to find that the standings are a little different than what they left them in.
Yep, exactly. You're right about that, though. It has been up and down because even Boston at one point was third, and I remember they were at the bottom of the table, I think, at some point. So it's been real just up and down fluctuation. Everyone, if you look at the points of the table, really no one's that far apart. Everyone's really close still right now.
A couple games.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
Washington tying. Thank you. Only 1 point.
It's all right. We'll get you in 2 weeks.
Let's see.
Also, another game last night was the Dash and Thorns. That ended up being a 0-0 draw, which was kind of weird to me. It seems like the Thorns, at first, when they got the season, they were really rolling, and then now they've really started to just slow down. I mean, the whole where Allie Long is playing has almost been a funny thing to me, because last week I'm looking at her and she's in a defensive midfield position, and then this week I was like, oh, now she's playing up front again. But still, it seems like there's no connection like she had earlier with Monashim. I guess I'll ask you a bit, Jackie. What have you thought of the Thorn season so far?
I think just for them, the problem has come from the lack of international players. They're not there, and I think they've depended on them just a little too much, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. And I don't think Allie Long you said, before that she hasn't been connecting with Mana Shim. Well, Allie Long's responsibilities have definitely grown since the international players left, and I think it's just a little bit too much for her to balance right now to be on the offensive and the defensive side of the ball. So I think that's kind of where the disconnect is happening, particularly up top. And if you notice, the Portland's offensive production, to me, has just fallen off just a little bit, a little more stagnant as of late. And I think that's just because right now they don't have a target up front. They're missing Steph Catley in the back, obviously their goalkeeper. So I think the international players being gone has hurt them a little bit and definitely slowed down their offense because too much of the responsibilities have fallen to a player such as Allie Long. And I don't think at this point she can be everywhere on the field and carry this Portland team through.
And that's what it ends up like it's becoming, that they expect her to carry them everywhere and stuff. And I remember when we were talking with some of the Dash players a couple weeks ago, they said the goal is to make sure you shut down Allie Long, and then the rest of the team is pretty much, that'll mess up everything that the team does, because it seems like they're expecting so much out of her, and I don't think she's that type of player where you should put, where she can carry that much of a load, or if any player can carry that much of a load, to be honest. But one little special player, though, for the Thorns I really liked lately is Io. I think she could be a good compliment, even though they're expecting her to really try to put in a ton of goals and stuff. That's what they will want out of her. But I think she would be a good compliment alongside the internationals when they come back. So I think to continue to look out for her. And the Dash, they put up a pretty good defensive display again with Ella Massar. She was great defensively again. She's been really good back there, even though I could call her, she seems like she could play anywhere, because even though most people probably consider her a forward, I believe it is more so, but she's done a pretty good job back on defense. And let me get to the Rain and Sky Blue real quick. Well, sorry guys, this is my minute right here. Where do we start? Well,
here we go.
We went up to Seattle and we lost 0. Yeah, so it was another rough game. We had Maya Hayes up front, just hoping for the best. Didn't work out for us. I'm going to just pass on this one and just say, Sky Blue, you should be thankful for this little break that we have right now. Go home, relax, go to the beach somewhere. Maybe you guys should head down to Florida for a little bit. Just chill out, because this is getting kind of painful for all of us watching right now. starting to hurt a couple of our feelings here to the fans. I question my loyalty a few times while watching that game. Start thinking, hey, why am I not a fan of Seattle Rain? Why am I not a fan of Chicago? Or hey, why didn't I join Jen Curl and become a Spirit fan? So I question it a little bit, but I'm sticking with you. So to the very end, I'm sticking with you. I'm even going to throw a contest at the end of the World Cup for you, near the World Cup, for people to try to get out to games and try to get more Sky Blue pride. So I'm looking out for you. But as for that game, it was another one of those games where it looked like the other team was just purely dominant as always. Better in possession. We really couldn't get anything going. The Seattle's, they pressured us and we were losing the ball. What else can I say? I'm not going to harp on it much because I really do want to get into this international stuff. But I'm going to give you 2 weeks and we're going to talk this over, because we're going to have to reevaluate this relationship or I'm going to get a divorce. Seriously, Sky Blue. So that's enough on that. As you guys can see, this is a fractured relationship. It's kind of personal right now with us. But I will move on. All right, guys, so let's get into the good stuff. We're going to start talking about the U.S. Women's National Team for all this good international stuff tomorrow, because they're going to play against Australia. I guess first things first, we're going to talk a little bit about our favorite coach in the whole wide world, Jill Ellis, and her roster selections. We'll start with, I guess, you again, Jack. What did you think of the roster by Jill Ellis overall, just that she selected going to this World Cup?
Not many surprises there, really. Crystal Dunn being left off is probably one of the bigger names for me, the most top names. And, at that point, I think it was just Crystal Dunn had been injured, been dealing with injuries. Ellis hadn't seen her very often at international play. It would have been hard for her to call her up. I guess the only other surprise to me was the inclusion of Shannon Box. I can see why you would bring her, definitely for the experience, and shortly after the roster was announced, Ellis made a great point in saying that Boxy can definitely fill a role for that team, potentially coming in late when they have leads as a great defensive mid. helping to hold that lead, snagging balls out of the air when teams are sending them forward and trying to score off the set pieces. So Box will definitely have a role on that team. Other than that, again, not many surprises to this roster. Nothing that was terribly concerning to me. Just a typical, solid, deep, and versatile roster from Ellis.
Jen, is there anybody that you wanted to be on the roster that didn't make it?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody, like Jackie said, kind of wanted Crystal Dunn to be on there. I mean, she's proven herself week in and week out with the Spirit, but in a way, I'm kind of glad she's playing in Washington right now. But I mean, I think the next World Cup there's going to be a big shift, not only with a bunch of our players retiring, but also we're going to start to see, I think, some young blood coming in. Players like Ohai, Moros, younger players that haven't had call-ups yet. I just don't think they were ready for this World Cup roster. I think Ellis definitely went with the experience. She went with the solid team she's known and she's worked with, so I agree with Jackie. I don't really think there were any surprises for me.
I guess, Graham, I want to ask you this one. What did you think of Chalupny's call-up more as a left back rather than her playing in her natural position? Did you agree with that, or would you have wanted her to be in her natural position?
I was excited when I heard that she got called up, actually. She's a really versatile player that was plagued by injury for the longest of times. I think she was off the U.S. roster and even radar for about 5 years. So for her to be able to come back and join a World Cup roster and kind of make up for lost time was really cool for me. I think she fills the role really well. She's solid. I mean, she's proved herself with the Red Stars that she still has what it takes. And it's impressive to watch her sometimes because she really has no self-preservation, I think, in her head. She just sort of throws herself and her entire body into crazy situations that I would be hesitant to do even. So, which brings to question her whole injury role. But since she's been healthy and she's been playing really well, I'm excited to see what she does for the national team. She's been criticized a lot for some missed opportunities, but I don't think they shine a light on all the good she has done as well. I think that's kind of just played off. So, like I said, very excited to see her kind of play that veteran role, but also have a youthfulness, being that she just got back onto the team. So she rides that fine line of veteran and newbie, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I guess for me the only ones was I remember when they were about to present the roster, the first person I thought was, oh, maybe Box will make it. I remember saying that. I was like, maybe she'll do the Box for done type of thing, I would call it. But it's more so looking, to be honest with you, with the play of Holiday, which we'll probably get into a bit later. I think Box might be an invaluable piece of this team really at that center holding position. Yep. Holiday's been rough right now, and I think you might need that experience of Box in there. If you could even plug her in for 45 minutes, maybe 40 minutes or so. Hopefully Holiday turns it around. Maybe she magically finds it that fits into that role. But she's been in rough form where it might look like Box will be a more valuable piece of this team than we thought she was going to be. But
I don't. And not to interject, and we might touch on this later. To me, Holiday, it's not that she's been terrible. I think she's been ineffective in the role that we typically know her playing. And with Kansas and, probably last year, she was playing a number 10 position behind those forwards, sending the ball out wide, being the playmaker, creating opportunities. Now she sits behind Carly Lloyd, and to me that's not her best position. That's not her natural position. And we saw it, I think, I would say in 2011 when Pia Sundhage was playing Cheney, Holiday. They were using her out wide. And you weren't getting the type of production out of her that you wanted, and that's because she wasn't playing her natural or her best position, which is that number 10 role. So when you pull Cheney out of her natural role and stick her in that defensive mid position, she becomes ineffective to me, especially compared to what we know she can do.
Yep, because I feel like it's not using her best skill set, to be honest. Like her best skills when she's sitting back, because she's not the type to be sitting back spraying out balls and stuff. And I've noticed that. I'm like, she's better, like I said, right up under a striker or something, and I don't know, more so just attack. I like her when she's attacking because she's such a good attacking player. But yeah, I agree with that 100%. So We'll
As far as roster picks from Ellis, I have to give her a standing ovation. The thing I really have a hard time agreeing with from time to time is her lineup selections and placement, which is a huge gap, I think, or just player that I wish I saw a lot more of and don't is O'Hara. She's proved herself time in, time out, and I realized that Kolupny kind of fights with that, but she's a really vital role to the team, and I don't think Ellis utilizes her. Ellis is falling short at utilizing a lot of players to their strength, I think, which in and of itself isn't a bad thing because she's testing different players and trying to move around the chess pieces a little bit to see what works. But to be doing it at this point in time for the World Cup is really risky.
So you would say that KO was a player that you would have wanted to see step up or be used properly, more so like we were saying with Holiday, it seems like.
Exactly, yep.
I agree. She's underutilized her completely, and that's one of her probably most versatile players. It seems like she doesn't just know how to play her players in position. Because you have Morgan Bryant out there in that right side, and she wasn't bad, but it's not her position. You put Hale out there, and you see a huge difference because it's her natural position. So that's a weird thing with her. I don't know. You would think she would kind of just...
She's just trying to refresh the team, get new talent in there, and some more time, but...
why fix what's not broken? O'Hara played every minute of the 2012 Olympics, and she wasn't bad. That's what I don't get. And like you said, why would Ellen go away from using O'Hara when there's clearly nothing wrong? Had O'Hara not been playing well, I can see her saying, hey, let's bring in a natural left back like Kolupny, like Klingenberg. But O'Hara wasn't playing bad. She was just phased out. That's what I don't get.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. The only view that I can take on it is she's just trying to find Abby's getting old, all these players are getting old. She's trying to find ways to implement players back into the field and find roles that they can really utilize and thrive in. And the way she's going about it may not be the best or textbook way, but I can see what she's going for. And like I said, I just don't know if the timing is correct for it.
That's why I felt like the timing's kind of rough. She's really done it in like the probably worst possible time. It's not her fault, really, because of how she came in, I guess, and stuff, but it's just the timing for what she wanted to do is more so like I would say a 4-year type of thing rather than a 1 year or 3 month or 2 weeks last week type of thing. So, but understandable. Moving forward, guys, let's talk about some players you're expecting to have a breakout World Cup. We'll go with you, Jen. Who are some players you're expecting to have a breakout World Cup for this team?
Oh, man. I think JJ might have a breakout year. I'd like to see Sid do it, just because they're playing Canada. I think it'd be great. Press, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of all up in the air for me, just because we've seen World Cup moments where in 15 seconds the entire game can change, the entire tournament can change, just because of the actions of one player. I mean, look back 4 years, and we've seen it repeatedly over Facebook and social media and everything else the past couple of weeks, that cross from Rapinoe to Abby. In that moment, Pino and Abby convinced an entire nation that they had won the World Cup in the quarterfinals. So I think at any given moment, any player can really stand out and make themselves and the team shine. So it's tough to pinpoint just one, I think, that's going to have a breakout year. I'm hoping the team as a whole has a breakout year.
Hey, we're counting on it. Jack?
Like Jen said, I would definitely go with JJ as someone that could have a breakout year. She's been on a scoring streak coming into the World Cup. It's a matter of can she sustain that level, especially off those set pieces, getting in there. I think before no one was really saw JJ as a threat off the set piece, but I think teams like Sweden will have definitely done their homework and know they have to mark her, especially on the set piece now. But yeah, if JJ can sustain that level of play going forward, she could definitely have a good World Cup. And also, like Jen said, Sid, you want Sid to do well being in Canada, and I know she wants to have a good World Cup too and score a bunch of goals. So, but Jen really I mean, got the gist of it. Anyone at any time can have a breakout moment. That's what this team is capable of, and that's the kind of depth and versatility they have.
And Graham?
I have 3 players that I'm hoping for a breakout with this World Cup. JJ, for all the reasons above. She's obviously blending really well with Sauerburn back there, and she's a threat when she gets towards that 18-yard line. Offensively too, she plays both sides of the field really well. I'm excited to see what she's going to do in the World Cup. And then Kristen Press and Morgan Bryan up front. These are 2 faces that I think are going to be the future of the women's national team attack, along with Alex Morgan, who's already kind of filled that role, being the face of the team now. But with Wambach kind of phasing out after this World Cup is what it seems, I think we're going to see a new front 3 from the team, and that's going to be them. I'm going to play devil's advocate on the Sid point. I was a little upset with her performance in the game against Korea. She, being the only scoring threat, I'll give her that, but she had 3 solid opportunities at a goal and didn't finish. So her finishing has been brought into question in my head, something that can be worked on. I don't think the 0-0 was a complete loss. The big thing was that they sold out that arena too. Recognition going into the Cup is huge. They sold out 3. The 3 tune-ups were all sold out, so that was huge. Yeah, Sydney is a quality player. I'd like to see a little bit more from her. I know she's capable of more. So, yeah, I think Morgan Bryan, eyes will be on her.
That was the first thing, though, people brought up to me about Sid's finishing. They were saying it was like her finishing was kind of like rough the whole time in that game, and it was kind of like in question, like, well, if she can't finish, then we're going to really depend on Appy. So that was a good point, actually, that you caught that, too. Also, what you said
can be anyone in the back line, but yeah, she needs to finish. She has to improve on that.
But I would say all our forwards have to work on that. Not just Sid, who was working her way back from a little bit of an injury. Obviously, you know, the last thing to come back for an injured player, especially a forward, is that finishing touch, which will probably, you know, we'll maybe touch on this later, will probably be a problem for Alex Morgan when she comes back later in this World Cup. But I think all our forwards definitely need to step up and finish. Press, I'm hoping for consistency in her finishing ability. We know she can do it, but will she be able to do it on a consistent basis? In A-Rod, unfortunately, she has few minutes on the field. That means fewer chances, and unfortunately, she's not capitalizing on really any of them. So all our forwards, I think, as a whole, need to step up and finish their chances.
Now, for me, for breakout players, everyone, I remember a lot of people I was talking to were saying Press. That was the one that a lot of people said they were hoping she had the breakout, but I don't know where she's even going to be used on the field, so it's going to be a mystery of how her usage will be another thing we brought into question. Also, someone I would have loved to actually see a breakout, and I still think will probably be a breakout player, is probably going to be someone like Tobin Eve. I think she'll end up coming off the bench and being a spark in one of those games, because you know how it is sometimes. Those little used players that are in the doghouse come off the bench and save a game somehow with just being creative or something. So maybe she can come in and save us in an important game, maybe in the knockout stages. But
any player off the bench from the USA can change a game, in my opinion. It's a deep talent roster, and yeah, anyone who comes off the bench or subs in has the opportunity to change the game, and they will be a game changer, in my opinion. Everyone on that team has the opportunity to do that and the ability.
Right on. And let's see. I guess I don't say that because I was expecting her to really be but I really try to figure out Morgan Bryan's role. That's a problem I have. That's the only other thing. But yeah, that's right. Like I say, yeah, they do have a lot of game changers and stuff. So it's going to be someone. It's just really going to be the opportunity, I guess. Whoever gets the opportunity to do it. I guess we already talked really about players we want to see step up. Like for me, really, it'd be more so Holiday. Unless you guys have somewhere you want to put in of players you want to see step up this World Cup. Jim, we can go if you do. You have a player you really want to see step up this World Cup.
Not so much one player. I want to see the midfield step up. Our midfield lately has looked, and it's positioning. I think it's what we talked about. It's Lauren Holiday not being in her natural spot, Carly Lloyd moving from her natural spot, We've had Pino out on injury. Tobin Heath, for whatever reason, like you said, has been in the doghouse. So it's been a weird dynamic in the midfield, and I've seen too many games now where our midfield has just fallen apart. And I think if you get Tobin and Pino and Holiday and Lloyd out there, all of them with their switches turned into the on position, we easily have the most dangerous midfield in the World Cup. I mean, it's insane. You get Pino on one flank, Tobin on the other, and their creativity is ridiculous. And the other two, Carly Lloyd's just a beast. She goes out there half bloody, dead all the time, and still manages to score goals. And Holiday, when she's on, she's on. I mean, she can get the ball to any player on the field in any spot on the field. So I think just as a midfield, maybe they just haven't had enough playing time together. I don't know what's going on there other than Jill Ellis maybe not putting them in the right positions, but I would like to see our midfield as a whole step up and really drive the line forward.
I can ask you this one, Jack, then. That gave me a question. Do you think it's a lack of chemistry for the most part with the midfield?
It took me a while to figure out why the offense for the U.S. wasn't working for especially the beginning of 2015, and it wasn't until the South Korea game that it really came to be in focus for me. If you notice in their first two send-off games against Ireland and Mexico, they played with a natural flank player in Megan Rapinoe. She definitely provided a spark for them, provided some good combination play and some good crossing ability. Now, Rapinoe was a late scratch for their game against South Korea, which was unfortunate. And she went with Brian and Press on the outside. Now, neither of those two are natural flank players. So you lack pace on the outside and you lack crossing ability on the outside. And Kate McGrath said it very specifically and very well in the post-game of that final send-off against South Korea is when that happens, when you don't have natural flank players to keep the play out wide, what tends to happen is Brian and Press tend to pinch into the middle, and the offense for the U.S. tends to look like a triangle almost. It's very direct. Balls are played through the middle and over the top because that's the only place they can go. So if Ellis can use natural flank players like Heath, like O'Reilly, and like Rapinoe, I think the midfield could definitely step up in the way that Jen said and have a breakout. They could step up in a big way and be the best midfield in the tournament.
And Graham, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I don't think I need to add anything to that. Jack covered it pretty well.
Yeah, that is right, though. She told the truth. I was thinking,
you're taking notes.
No, that's so funny.
Oh, for you watching? I'm coming for your job.
It was like I was just reading through my notes. I was like, well, that kind of sets up for my Abby Wambach question with the playing over the top and just direct sometimes. What do you guys even think about her? Should she even be starting? Now we can go to you, Graham.
Yeah, I definitely think Abby Wambach should be starting. She's a threat every time she touches the pitch, and she's really a force to be reckoned with on the pitch too. She's intimidating, and she'll take her space wherever she can get it, and she'll make space if she doesn't have any. So she definitely had. You know what? I'm adding her on my breakout. She's gonna get one, I think, this year. She deserves it, and I don't think the USA have anyone better to lead that team up front.
So,
Jack, do you have Abby starting for your lineup up top?
I have to disagree with Graham on that one. We're buddies and all, but Graham, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. I'm going to fire you as my assistant coach. No, Wambach.
You're getting paid anyways.
No, Wambach should not be starting for me, unfortunately. I just don't think she has the legs to carry a team and start and play, 60, 70 minutes. I think she's a great sub off the bench to come in and provide a late spark on set pieces, and when we have proper flank play to get crosses into the middle, because Abby Wambach can still go up, snag balls out of there, and put them on frame. She still has that ability. What I don't think she has is the pace, the legs to carry this team 6 games in the tournament. I just don't think it's there.
Yeah, for me, it was one of those things where it's like I see her as a good plan B if plan A works. So I might have subbed her in for 45 minutes if nothing was working. But that would have been me. Jen, what is your opinion on Abby Wambach starting?
Um, I kind of agree more with Jackie. I definitely wouldn't start Wambach. I'd bring her in as like a super sub. But sorry, Graham. I know you're double fired now. Sorry, man. But for me, she is a super sub.
Wait till tomorrow.
I think Abby, she boosts the morale of the team, but the problem is they've been using her the wrong way when they bring her in as a super sub. They've been bringing her in, and instead of bringing her in as the leader and as the morale booster and as the, hey, I'm here because I can snag things out of the air and get them on frame, they've been using her more as like an act of desperation. Like, she can go in there as a compliment to the team, like Jackie said, when you have natural flank players that can get the ball to her and do what they need to do. But unfortunately, they've just been using her as kind of, okay, well, we're just going to do whatever we need to do to pop the ball to Abby and hope she can get it in. And I think if they can use her correctly as the leader of the team and as the super sub that she is, rather than that, plan B. Sorry, DJ, to steal your term there, but she is still a plan A. They need to stop using her as a plan B, even though I would sub her in rather than start her.
And the thing is, they don't even use it right as a plan B sometimes. Like you were saying with how, earlier, Jackie, how they won't have natural flanks, so they'll play so narrow most of the time that they got to kind of go over the top to her and just, well, I hope she knocks it down, or I hope she knocks it over to whoever. Usually, I guess it would be like Sid playing next to her or something, and then she'll get to. But it's not even used correctly. If you use her, you got to have people like so they can naturally cross the ball into her and use her ability in the air. But I guess Jill hasn't gotten it yet. Well, I guess we can talk about Alex Morgan and the impact, or less of an impact she might have this World Cup. We'll start with the woman wearing an Alex Morgan jersey. Jack, go for it. Tell us what you think.
I don't know what's going to happen, to be quite honest with you. Unfortunately, ever since the Olympics, honestly, no, I'd say a little bit later, maybe around beginning of 2014, it's injuries with her. She's tried to rush the injuries and been coming back too soon. There was an ankle injury, there was a knee injury, another ankle, now it's another knee injury. I don't know the effect it's going to have. Unfortunately, she hasn't played competitively. That was something I meant to check. If someone out there wants to check for me, when the last time she played competitive minutes for the national team was, or competitive minutes for the Portland Thorns. Would be an interesting thing to look up. I don't know the impact she's going to have. I think she obviously can still have an impact. It's just a matter of, can she come back early in the tournament, get some good touches in, and then find a finishing touch. As I said earlier, the last thing to come back for a striker from an injury is going to be that finishing touch. So I think it's important, if Alex Morgan is healthy, to get some minutes for her in this first game against Australia. Get her some touches on the ball, maybe the last 20, 25 minutes of this opening game, because you don't want her coming back against a physical and tough and strong Swedish team, and maybe then getting her in against Nigeria might be too late.
Graham, were you saying something? Did you?
Last game that I saw, or that Google told me, was April 4th against New Zealand in St. Louis, for national team at least. So it's been a while.
And Graham, what are your thoughts on her being wearing the press jersey? I guess you have the devil's advocate view on Alex Morgan.
Oh, I'm an Alex Morgan fan. I don't have 6 jerseys, but I'm an Alex Morgan fan.
What do you think her impact will be this World
Cup? I see an open position for the new kit.
There will be.
Yeah? Okay. I definitely want to see Alex come tomorrow on the field. I've been reading up a lot on it. She's close to 100% from what everyone's putting out there on the web. So long as she's not pushing herself and she's just going out there to be out there, I think we'll be okay. She plays within herself, so long as the pressure and or nerves of the cup doesn't get to her, and she plays within herself, she'll be good. And I don't think I think she'll be fine, and I hope she'll be fine.
I just have that fear, like you say, we were saying about Sid and the finishing of after the injury, that she won't be as sharp naturally just because she hasn't really played competitive yet, which is understandable. So I guess that makes me a bit nervous. But it's like I
think Alex Morgan is the kind of player that'll take 13 shots on and can miss frame, but they'll still be confident that she can put one in with the 14th. And yeah, I don't know. She's always been a natural finisher, so I don't see that being a big issue.
Yeah, that is one thing. She has been our team's best finisher over the years. I'm just hoping she gets back, and it's I'm hoping that actually when she plays tomorrow, even if it's as a sub or however she decides to use it, that she's healthy and good to go, because I feel like that's a valuable piece we need up top. All this flipping of strikers trying to find someone that can fit up there with the whole probably trying to find someone to complement Abby, because the whole Abby and Alex combination was amazing for a couple seasons a couple of years, I guess, watching those two play together. If we can get at least those two back for even if it's, who knows how they're going to use them. Maybe if Abby's a sub mainly or Alex can give us a couple minutes here and there, just to have those two up top, I feel like it could be really, really valuable for us moving on to the tournament. Let's just get out of the group stages and we can worry about the rest a little bit later as long as everyone's healthy. But we'll see. I guess now that...
Go ahead, Dwayne. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Go on.
I just think Alex, is one of the most complete forwards that we've ever had. And LaRue and Press are definitely up there. I don't think either of them quite have the finishing touch that Alex has displayed on the international level. Of course, Press definitely has shown it at the club level. I'm still waiting for her to break out just a little bit more on the international level to pop in a few more goals consistently. But I just think that, like you touched on, there's just been a lack of chemistry between the other forwards, and I think that's just because Alex is the most complete, well-rounded forward that we have, and she can complement any of the other four top players.
I agree, because even I remember a lot of things people were talking about. You remember, I forgot, 2 years ago, maybe 2 years or a year ago, she went through I guess they call it a scoring drought. It was a couple of games. And I was like, are you all missing the point? She's having a ton of assist steals. She's getting other people's shots and helping them score. Like, that's as good as a goal right there if she's getting assists. And it was like, oh no, everyone's just focused on the scoring. And it's just like, she does so much because she's a complete forward that sometimes people, I guess they undervalue, some people started to undervalue her over the years, and now they're seeing how valuable of a piece she was up top for us with all she did, because it wasn't just scoring, it was some of the runs would open up stuff for other people. So I'm hoping she's healthy, actually. I'm hoping she can give us some good minutes against Australia on this turf mess that's super hot. All right, guys. Well, let's talk about starting lineups for Australia. Who wants to go first? Raise your hand. No one raised their hand. Okay, Jen, you're going first because I'm telling you to. Tell us your starting lineup for Australia.
All right. I actually wrote it down because I knew I would forget. So I went Lydia Williams in goal. For defenders, my major three are Catley, Uzunar, and Polkinghorn. And I decided to go 4 on the back, actually, and put in Alloway. I really like Alloway. I don't know why, but I do. I think she'll have a breakout year for Australia. And then for my midfield, I went Gorey, Van Egmond, and I'm going to play Kellen Knight in kind of the central defending midfield position. And then my front line is, of course, LDV Kerr and Heyman. So there's my lineup for Australia.
Oh, that's great, because I only did mine for the U.S. Women's National Team. But all right. That's...
Did you do an Australia lineup?
Yeah, I did an Australia lineup. Bunch of freaking slackers. What are y'all doing over there?
Well, what is your U.S. Women's National Team?
She's on point.
Yeah, I know. I was like, Jen is ready today, isn't she?
I know. We all lost our jobs now. Now she does.
I'm just going to sign off. I'll talk to you.
All right, Jen, do you have a U.S. Women's National Team lineup since you know Australia front and back, too, it seems?
Seriously, I thought we were here to talk about the U.S.
Well, yeah, we gotta bring up our opponents here. We gotta, hopefully pull a Germany and have a slaughterfest, so we gotta know who we're beating up on.
I hope so. But who do you got for the U.S. Women's National Team starting?
I got Hope Solo in goal, naturally, because it's, Hope Solo. And then for my back, Kriegs, I think I'll put Bruin back there. And then to start, I'll probably go, let's go Kling, and I'm gonna say KO. I know she won't get it, but I'm gonna put her back there.
Wish list right there. There you go.
Yeah, pretty much. It's okay. My midfield's a wish list too. So, my midfield, I'm gonna go. I think Pino's back to full strength now, so I'm gonna put in Pino, Holiday, Lloyd, and Tobin. And my front line, I'm worried about Alex playing on that turf. That injury with her not being a full.
Everybody playing on that too.
What's that, Graham?
I'm worried about everybody playing on that too.
Yeah.
Isn't that a mess?
Yeah, I'm worried about
Look
everybody.
like they're going to be nursing some wounds for the remainder of the tournament.
Yeah. I'm definitely worried about everybody playing on that turf, but Alex just coming off of that injury, man, like that stuff has some terrible impact on the legs. So I don't know that I would start her tomorrow. I might sub her in to get her some minutes later on. I think I would start. Let's go A-Rod and Sid.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, Jack, I don't know if you're like as amazing as Jen right now and have a lineup for England, Brazil. I mean, if you can go for it.
Whip out the South Korean lineup here.
Right, South Korea.
You'll see their pictures up in this corner. I will make one note on Jen's lineup. Their captain, Claire Pokinghorn, I believe, Porkenhorn. I don't know how to say her last name. She is likely out with a hamstring injury that she suffered on Friday in training. No word yet on if she'll be available, but it looks unlikely at this point. I do know a little bit about Australia, and I really like the lineup that Jen created, Catley in the back. My only change I would make, and maybe I just missed your forward lineup, I would definitely have Caitlin Ford out there. For me, she's a young, exciting player with a lot of pace on the flank. Works well with Steph Catley on the outside. So that would be my only note to the Australia lineup, but definitely good homework by Jen there. In terms of the U.S. lineup, Hope and goal, obviously. If we were dreaming and this was our dream lineup, I would definitely have a KO on the outside. But this is not my dream. This is my nightmare with Ellis as a coach. JJ and Bruin in the center, Krieger on the other outside, and I guess I would have to go with Klingenberg, just because she has shown some offensive prowess that I really like. Yeah. In the midfield, Lloyd and Cheney, Holiday, however you want to say it. And like I talked about, that flank play has to be there. So for me, Pino, and even though she doesn't have a lot of minutes, and she's really lost favor with Ellis, I'm going to say Heo. Heo provides so much pace in flying at that back line of Australia. I think will kind of overwhelm a young defense without their captain. So I think a fast-paced Heo would be a great addition. And then up top, I'm going to go with Sid and Pressy.
Sounds good. Graham, can you tell me your lineup for Thailand?
No.
What do you got for the U.S. Women's National Team?
Solo and goal for obvious reasons. Krieger, Johnson, Sauerbrunn in the back. Klingenberg too. Sauerbrunn and Johnson more of the middle role. Krieger on the outside. Midfield, Brian, Holiday, and Lloyd. I think that's a midfield that's going to be really strong in attacking, and once they get their chemistry a little more together, it's going to go off. I think that's the midfield lineup that Jill needs to stick with, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's see, Heo. Press, and Pino.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
My lineup, I guess.
Outside, Pino outside. So
My lineup had a mix of a lot of what you guys said. Naturally, I had Ashton Harris at goal. No, I'm joking. I had Solo at goal. Had Kling, the Kling J.
elaborate.
This show is just trolling today. I should see the Kling, JJ, Brune, and Krieger at back. I had the Rapinoe, Holiday, Lloyd, and then I put Hale in, like you were saying, because I was thinking the same way as you or Jackie. And then up top, I was like, I know it's going to be LaRue, to be honest with you. I'm just saying, that's just my guess for some reason. It's really going to be LaRue. But I threw Press up there and Abby. I was like, why not? Because I wanted to be Jill Ellis for a day and see what happened. So, Press and Abby.
Who doesn't?
Right?
Wouldn't it be nice to just sit there like Jill Ellis and throw darts at a board, and that's how you decide your starting lineup? Wouldn't that be, the ultimate coaching job?
Right.
I'm really good at darts.
You are? Just throw it there. You're like, Abby is my starting center back. There you go. Right there. So, but it's like I just for some reason I see it's going to be LaRue starting. I think I know for a fact Hale's not going to be starting. It's going to be like you said. I think Brian's going to be starting out there, or maybe she'll put Press on one of those wings. It's going to be something like that. We know how her mindset has been, even though it's a weird mind to get into. But I just can't see Hale starting on the outside, even though it would be nicer Press starting up top. But maybe it'll be more like the friendlies. I think I was going to ask us. I think it's going to be a lot more like the friendlies. And I guess we could talk about really how we think this team's going to come out with the lineup that we expect with, I guess and see it out there starting. I don't know. We'll start with you, though, Graham. What do you think how the team's going to come out actually in this first game?
I hope they have a performance very similar to that against Mexico. Actually, I might even. Mexico's lineup was really good. Jill could flip back a couple of pages and use that one. That might work pretty well against Australia. Just to have a breakout performance. I'd like to see some prolific goal scoring tomorrow, just to make the USA presence known that we're here and we're going to score, and Germany, you don't scare us. So just to kind of put that nail in the coffin and erase any of the doubt that was created in that last friendly against Korea. So that's what I'm hoping for. Lots of goals.
Jack, what are you hoping for? How we come out?
I'd like to be optimistic and say that last draw against Korea is going to fuel them to really pick it up and pick up the pace. But I think our play will definitely be dependent on the lineup that Ellis chooses to use. If she goes with a lineup similar to South Korea, we're going to see a similar game plan. If we see something similar to the Ireland-Mexico setup, I think we're going to have a much better chance of scoring a prolific amount of goals. We hold a great record against Australia, 22-0-2. So they're familiar.
On the team for Australia?
I'm sorry, what?
Did Giovanna make the roster? I didn't look.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
We could Google it real quick. Continue.
It just is totally dependent on the formation Ellis uses. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I don't. Unfortunately, we keep thinking that this is going to be the game that the U.S. picks it up and gets back to the playing we know they can do, but it hasn't been that way for a while. On the other hand, I guess you can say that there's no better team that performs better under the bright lights, like the U.S. does. So who knows? Unfortunately, I do have to bounce. My computer's about to run out of battery. But closing thought, I guess, we go U.S. and definitely see everyone tomorrow cheering for the U.S. on Twitter.
Sounds good. We'll check you later, Jackie, and thank you for joining us. We'll wrap this show up without you, but we will see you next time.
See you, Jackie.
And Jen.
Bye, everyone.
And Jen, what are your thoughts? How do you want the team to come out?
Yeah, Australia did something really interesting. They played a friendly against Scotland, which they drew, but they did something really interesting in their back line, and they moved Steph Catley into left center. And that became so dangerous. She plays naturally in a left center. So, Jackie mentioned earlier that without having flank play. We've just been kind of launching up the middle, and that's going to be right where Steph Catley's sitting waiting for it. You know, she's going to play that left center role now, and she's going to be sitting there as one of Australia's, possibly Australia's best defender, sitting there just waiting for those balls to come to her. So we're really going to need to switch up something, and we're going to need to be able to play it wide to get around stuff like that. So, you know, I kind of have to agree that it's all going to be based on the lineup. It's all going to be based on, can we play this ball out wide? Can we find a way to get it behind Australia's defenders and get it into the net?
Yeah, it's really, hopefully we're going to have a multiple styles. If our first plan doesn't work, we're going to be able to go a different way, because a lot of times we end up playing one way and keep trying to force that way the whole game, and it's just not working. So
I'd like to see that change and a lot more possession and pass play happen, where we can just pass through the team. But in a perfect world.
I think I keep waiting for that too. Every game, I'm like, oh, this is going to be the game where we sit around and pass it around like through a team, like you were saying. And then it gets to that point where you see.
You know the USA is more than capable of doing that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of did the chemistry work out in practice? Did they all show up today? It's going to happen. It's such a catch-22.
Oh, and it's so bad because, I mean, to me, I just know every time, like, they'll start off the first, it seems like they start the first 5 minutes doing that first 10 minutes. Then once the game, they really get settled in the game, you see JJ get the ball looking up like, boom, oh, there it goes again, long ball. It's like every game it happens like that. They can.
I feel like, and not to be like, I feel like the Red Stars sort of did that to her, though.
Oh, really? Oh, you guys did it? Oh.
I don't know. I sort of, just the style of play that the Red Stars have been, I mean, they've been very successful with the diagonal and overhead balls this season. So I'm wondering if that's just sort of ingrained. I could be wrong. This is just me on the outside looking in, but...
No, they did it to her. No wonder. Guys, you could blame the Red Stars.
Hey, we're still on top of the table. It's not all bad.
It's not all
By 1 point. By 1 point, buddy. 1 point.
And it's like I
jumped. Take the squad, I found out.
Graham, go for it.
What?
Oh, I was about to say, and I can't jump in this discussion because I'm at the bottom of the table right now looking up at everyone. So you guys can argue about what it's like to be up top. But what did you say you found now?
Giovanna did make the squad, and she's just always a standout player. I feel like she's Australian Zambi Wambach. I remember 2 seasons back, she had a bicycle kick goal in the inaugural season of the NWSL. I'm just like, whoa. So knowing that could happen at any moment from her is scary to me, because she is such a versatile and strong player. The likes of Zambi Wambach, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they were even talking about her a little bit earlier, saying she could be a deadly threat, but this is what I exactly put in my notes for you guys to see into my mind what I was thinking, which is kind of funny because of Germany. I said, hopefully they come out with a little bit of bite, knowing this is the real thing and not some 30th ranked team for them to try to beat 10-0.
Yeah.
So it's like...
When I hopped on Facebook after I got home from work and I saw that, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I was just like, this is...
I remember me and Jim were talking about it before we came on Facebook. And we were just like, yeah, that was pretty bad. It came like they whooped.
2 hat tricks. They almost had a record for most goals scored. Like, it's just like,
And it should have been almost a record for most yellow cards. How much they just started fouling. Like, there was no other way you could play with that. Oh, dude, they were fouling them so much, weren't they, Jen?
Cards on cards on cards.
It was getting rough out there. Moving forward, I know we're talking about the U.S. national team here, but moving forward, like, Germany's definitely going to have some problems just because I feel like this game just took its toll playing on the turf and the way Ivory Coast was just knocking them around. I feel like they're going to have some problems moving forward just because of the physicality of play today.
That's what I like to hear.
All right, we're going to do a little bit more discussion on Australia, then we'll just talk about the groups, guys, and then I'll tell you, oh yeah, I forgot, there's going to be a special giveaway, so if you hung on this long, you're probably going to win something for nothing. That's coming out of my pocket, so you should be happy for it. But we'll talk about Australia a bit. As you guys were saying, naming a few players. A few players I wrote down was Sam Kerr, naturally going to be a threat we're going to look out for. Kaya Simone, I believe that's how it's pronounced. They said she's real pacey. When I was reading up on her, real pacey player we should watch out for. Stephanie Catley, as you already mentioned, Caitlin Ford and Lydia Williams. They seem like a real youthful side, but they're experienced too. And a lot of these players, they say, were fielded in the 2011 World Cup. So I think this is going to be a good challenge for us.
Australia is definitely pulling the card of youth, which I'm excited to see. I just hope it doesn't go against the USA's game plan. I think the group of death for Australia will be very interesting to see with such a useful side that they have.
Where do you think they're going to probably finish in our group?
Third, prospective second.
That's about right. That's about right, too. And how about you, Jen? Since you know the whole roster personally, you went out to dinner with them.
Yeah, no, I put them third. They do have a lot of youth, which is awesome. We saw that with the Netherlands yesterday. They had a really young, really exciting side. So Australia does have that. I just don't think they have the depth they need yet to go up against USA and Sweden. So I put them third.
Right. And, Jen, for this group overall, what do you think? Just like how should the outlook of this group overall? What should the U.S. women national fans expect?
In my bracket, I put USA 1, Sweden 2, and Australia 3. I think for us, we have a lot of concerns. We really do. We're going up with players who have dealt with injury and putting them on turf that is 100 and some odd degrees. That's just not okay. So we do have the injury concerns. We have the turf concerns. Now we have all of this BS Hope Solo crap going on again.
What is there Hope Solo crap going on? That's
I know, but
oh, it's absolutely. Oh, but it's gotten worse now. Right now, it's like
She's just so good, and I just don't understand how she's so bad off the field. I don't get it.
The funny thing is, she didn't even do anything this time. This is crap from last year that's coming back up because ESPN just felt like, being, I guess, ESPN. But regardless, like we do have some.
Pissed off because they didn't get the bid for the cup like Fox did. They just
there they go. That's probably true though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Breeding somehow, so that's how they're gonna get them again.
They did an eye opener, ESPN. Freaking darts over soccer. You gotta be kidding me. Go to your bar if you want to watch darts.
It's an absolute joke, dude. But continue, Jim, before we get on our dart discussion real quick.
Yeah. So I mean, we do have concerns moving forward, but I still think we'll come out on top on this one. I don't think it'll be easy though. I think Sweden is definitely going to be a challenge. Australia, I think, is going to give us a good run. Nigeria even has some really, really quick players up top that they're going to challenge us. So for us, and I was watching, I think it was the World Cup preview on Fox the other day, where someone had mentioned that it's not so much the group of death for us, but the group of exhaustion. Where at the end of this, we're going to come out on top, but we're going to be so exhausted going into the next stages that the play we're going to have to use in this group is going to affect us. Like I said with Germany earlier today, just the physicality, the nature of the group, I think is going to impact us moving forward. But I call us on top of this group, and I think as long as we can stay out of our own heads, we'll be able to beat the opponents that are coming at us.
So how far do you see us going overall?
I'm blindly optimistic when it comes to my teams. Hence my blind optimism for the Spirit. Although we are in second, so I'll take that.
Stay there. Stay there.
1 point, man, and that 1 point is going to get lost next week.
So sick of NWSL being a Sky Blue fan. Continue.
I told you to switch to the Spirit, DJ.
I hate all you guys. Continue.
Jordan, I'm going to send you a Red Stars jersey.
Right, then that'll do it. Whoever gets to me first, the Spirit of the Red Stars, we'll see. Then I'll change.
I already got you because I have a new red hat for you. So
I got the new red hat, the new Fred Durst logo. You better beat it one upper, Graham. One upper, Graham.
One upper? I feel like she just gave you a second-hand choice. I said a kit, man.
Okay.
Yeah, but I already have the hat in hand.
That is true. I didn't see kit
I
in
got a kit in
hand.
the closet.
Okay, we're good. We are good here. I got to make a decision, guys. But continue. What were we going to say?
Yeah, no, I see the U.S. going all the way. I see us in the final. I do.
Okay.
I think it's probably going to be. I think France has a good shot at it. I think Sweden has a good shot at it. Germany obviously has a good shot at it. So I see us with any of them going all the way into the finals.
Nice. Let's go with you, Graham. Same questions. Group stages, and then where do you see us advancing?
Group of death. It's properly named. We're in it. Group of exhaustion. Also properly named. It's going to be very tiring. Not just for the players, but for the fans. I think it's going to be. We're going to come out on top. It's going to be kind of a nail-biter group, though, especially with Sweden. So as far as going the distance, I'm fairly confident the USA is more than capable enough of doing it. They're hungry for it. They got a chip on their shoulder from the last one. But let's see. I'd say France or Sweden are going to be the main contenders. I think after seeing what happened today and whatnot, Germany might have a little bit of a big head about them. From what I've heard from you guys, they got a little bit beat up. So we'll see how that, if that helps or hinders them going forward. I'm thinking it might do the latter. I really don't want to see Germany win the women's and men's World Cup. That just wouldn't be cool.
It's kind
So they're out of sight and out of mind for me right now. I think the main contenders for the Cup is going to be France, Sweden, or the United States. Those are going to be my top three choices who will walk away with it.
Sounds good.
And I guess I mean you gotta always cheer for the host too. So it'd be nice to see how far Canada goes and if they can go the distance as well. But USA over Canada every day of the week. So
we can all agree with that, my friend. For me, it's really, like I said, it's a tough group. It's good, though, because over the years, I kind of got sick of all of those games where we were playing cupcakes and beating them 10-0, and it felt like I always used to like the celebration-type games or festive games, I would call them. You schedule them, everyone buys a ticket to go, and then we just know, like, how bad are we going to beat the team, and then which young players are going to play, hopefully. You're watching for your favorites to get goals, worried about, so.
And that's what scares me about Germany. I was at the Victory Tour after the Olympics in Chicago when they played Germany, and Abby Wambach put one in the goal in the second minute. I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a good.
Yep.
It's gonna be good. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, it was a 2-2 draw where it was just back and forth after that. So it's just like, it's scary because you don't know when the States are going to turn it on. You know they're going to, and it all comes down to when they actually do it in that game. And once they have turned it on, maintaining that level of intensity throughout the game where they're not getting a 2-goal and insurance lead and letting off a little bit. So keeping the ability to park the bus and get a great outright attack is key.
Yeah, like you said, I remember going to one of those games, and it was against, I think it was China PR, was it? I think it was.
In Detroit?
Yeah, I went to that game.
There, man?
Oh, you went to that one? No,
Yeah.
I was sitting. This is where I was sitting. I swear, this is where I was sitting at. I got a seat right down the field, one of those expensive field seats or whatever. And I was sitting down there, and I turned to the crowd at the end of the game when Tobin Heap came down and started signing autographs. This is funny. We're on here fanboying real quick. And then I was sitting down there, and I was turning to the fans, and there was like kids up there, and I was throw down your stuff, and I was letting her sign stuff for people, and I was throwing it back. Oh, thank you so much. And so that was a fun game.
I wasn't that close. I was that close for the Chicago game, though. My friend had from the tunnel, and I got Pino's autograph.
That's all I wanted. I had a sign. I was like, come over here, Pino, so I can get the autograph. And the one looked to me and was like, oh, you're a Pino fan? I was like, what do you think? I'm wearing a 15 and everything. Come over here. But she said,
get out of here, sir.
It was like, what do you think? I'm here wearing this, and I got a sign. And she went to the other side of the field, so it was just like, whatever. It was like, but Yeah, so I was kind of screwed. But Tobin Heath was like ready to walk to me. I was like, I don't want your autograph. I'm joking. I accepted it. But Bruno was nice too.
Don't
But
hate on
anyway.
Tobin.
But you know, well,
I love Tobin. I love Tobin. I have a Tobin Heath Nutmeg Academy T-shirt.
yeah, I'm saying it's like if we were talking about Lomas, she really would have killed me for that one.
Those are the two you don't mess with, man. You don't touch Joe Lohman or Tobin Heath. Mm.
That was the first autograph I got, so I can't complain. That was the first one I got. But
There you go.
as I was saying,
I love Joanna Lohman. She's awesome.
yeah,
Thank
I might.
Yes. Yeah, she's awesome.
That's her number one right there, over there. We gotta get
past Tobin Heath. Like that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I was gonna marry Tobin Heath, so like that's a.
So this is major. This is real life right here. This is major.
This is the real deal.
Anyway, good. Let me finish my prediction for the team since you all got the joke and stuff and talk about your winning NWSL sides. I see the team, like I said, I'm happy to finally see a challenge because you wait all these years seeing these cupcakes and you finally get to see a challenge. But the challenge came and it looks like at the wrong time because the team's kind of in flux and kind of messy, to be honest. It's not as cohesive as we thought we were looking at coming out of that Olympics where everything just seemed so great and everything was just golden. We could do no wrong and 6 goals was easy. So it's kind of scary that at this point in time we're finally getting to see ourselves against tougher teams. And all of the teams this year, even some of the teams that are bad, they have that little bit of edge to them where I was like, yeah, it was like even watching today's game against who Germany beat all to death or whatever. The Cote de Ivory Coast. They were they still had a little bit of thing where it's like they had the pace where you're like, wow, they really had a couple of years together and put it together and their program builds. They could be a really scary team. So all these teams are catching up. So it's
not to look 4 years into the future, but I think France is going to be, as much as this Canada is going to be such a big breakout for the sport in general, I think France is going to be huge because it's going to have that much more of a following, and we have a lot of young teams who are going to be in form and chemistry-wise very, very impressive come that tournament.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun tournament, I think, too. I said I'm looking more to that one than I was this one, to be honest. So, yeah, I mean, sorry, but it's honest because I want to see our young players, which ones we bring up.
Yeah.
It's going to be such an it's going to be such a change in our team how it's going to look by that time. So that's going to be a fun tournament. But let's focus on this world. We're already looking ahead. Like I can't wait, but I really can't. I mean, but this team is real weird because I was looking at Julie Foudy's tournament, her bracket, and she had us playing Brazil the next round if we come out first. And then Japan the next game after that, and then England the next game. I said, those are all really losable games. Like, you could lose those games easily because what if Marta has an amazing game? Okay, usually we get slip by Brazil. That's what most of us think. What if Marta has an amazing game? That's a loss early in their tournament. Japan is just a tough team overall, just their technical ability and how sound they are on the ball.
Yeah.
And that's a scary
I hope no one pulls the crap that Korea pulled, too, because Korea... they changed all of the numbers to confuse the players.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, game tactic, genius, but as a friendly, it's like, come on.
Yeah, it was kind of Bush League, wasn't it, for friendly? I was like, oh, are you guys taking it that serious? The keeper's wearing 99 or something. You're like, who is she?
Yeah.
You're like, kind of a Bush League.
What's going on out here?
But so that was kind of weird. But what if Japan does that? Now then we really should be scared. But they have some. They have some deadly players on that team. Like I said, I remember. What's that? Go for it.
We can beat them. We've done it before. I think that's a game that if we get to it, I think it's going to be full bore 100%. I think if a game was going to wear out this team, it would be that match because they have that huge chip on their shoulder from the last cup.
Yep.
Regardless if they won the medal over them in 2012. That's on the back burner at this point. They want the trophy, and they were the ones standing in the way from it last time. So if the team's going to get wore out at any game, if we get to that point of USA-Japan, it's going to be intense.
So that's going to be the one that I see because there's always a game in every World Cup that goes in the PKs, and we're going to be like holding on to our like
USA-Canada in the Olympics. That was the game.
Yep.
Probably the best women's game I've seen to date, all around play. But I think if it comes to that, I think the standout game will be USA-Japan. if it comes to that. So
I mean, I think that'd be a great game if that ends up happening. And then I saw in her bracket that if we get past that, then it should be us versus England. I think that we could. Well, the thing is, we even struggled against England when they were playing their backups when we were at home. But really, if we get past, I wonder, it'll be weird because if we get past Japan, will we be worn out emotionally and physically from that game, or will we be just so informed and so
will
good?
you just be riding the adrenaline from the win. So.
That could go either way in that game.
Cover.
Yeah.
Too many factors to cover.
Right. So we'll see. Let's first worry about getting out of this group. I actually had us getting second out of this group because I feel like this Australia game will determine that. Because this, to me, this is going to be.
What do you have on top?
I had Sweden on top. I don't know. I just, for some reason, I just have faith in Pia Sundhage team that she'll have them steady, even if they.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I feel un-American by having us second, but I had us second, and then I said we're going to have a tough road coming a long way. But if we do it, then we deserve it. You know, we deserve the whole thing. So, I mean,
give me tournament.
Yep.
That we've witnessed in previous season or previous tourneys. I think a huge confidence booster would be the Algarve turnout with what we did then. Showing that we can compete, and previously not even podiuming when under Tom Sermani. So showing that the leadership is there, the talent is there, and we can compete at that level. Everyone knows we can, and we came here to win. So as much as some of these games might wear us out or whatnot, the mentality of the other teams coming in is that we can just do just about anything when we hit that pitch. So that's a strong mentality tactic that the USA holds.
Very true. And now, actually, I should tell you guys about the contest. I tried to think of so many different contests for us to do since, like, the last contest we did was the NWSL one, and it went really well. The girl, she won. It was funny. It was a Boston fan who made me a Sky Blue fan. So, I don't know. I guess I should be thanking you for that.
Doing?
Yeah, I know. But we won't talk about that. We're going to talk about that in the season, but since we're going to try to help them out as much as possible now. But the NWSL, I mean, the World Cup contest we're having for the U.S. Women's National Team is pretty simple. Tell me, guys, if this sounds good or not. If not, we'll revise it. Oh, wow. Now a viewer popped in when I'm talking about a contest. Oh, something free.
Well, I can win something?
Right? I better keep watching.
Subscribe. Like.
This is what we're going to do. Predict the U.S. Women's National Team's top goal scorer in group stages. How does that sound? Pretty good? Simple? All right. All you got to do is follow us, and that should be it, because I'll just choose someone that's following us and tweet it, send it on Facebook, send it on Tumblr. Don't send it anon on Tumblr, because how am I going to mail something to an anon? I mean, 123 Street, blank street, blah, blah, blah. So predict who you think the top goal scorer for the team will be in group stages, and I'll send you. I will show you the prize once I get it or whatever, and I'll tweet it out and everything, and I'll DM you or message you. Well, I'll message you so that people can really believe it's a real prize, so it's not a fake thing. You're going to win something really cool, actually. It might have a name on the back of it. It will have a name on the back of it. So that's all I'm going to tell you about that. Also, guys,
you guys, it's my name.
It's going to say Graham on the back. Graham 23. Let's do our rants to wrap this up, and we'll call this a day. Remember, and I'm gonna have someone tweet out about the contest too, so you guys can know about it. But make sure you follow too, or like us on Facebook. I think that's what the cool kids are doing nowadays on those old social media sites. Jennifer,
MySpace with the space book.
The MySpace, that's what it is. That's with the music and the jamming and the Jello pudding. Jen, what is your?
What is going on?
Jen, what is your rant on this week?
Yo, I got a couple of them this week. God, everything's pissing me off this week. All of this crap, I mentioned it earlier with the Hope Solo nonsense. Like, really? Let it go. Like, I don't care what your opinion is on Hope Solo. Like, it's the World Cup. Guys, this only comes around once every 4 years. I don't care what anybody is saying about Hope Solo right now, about whatever went on last year. Like, focus on the game. It's a beautiful game. Watch it. Focus on it. Don't pay attention to whatever ESPN is spewing off because they're bitter they didn't get the World Cup.
So, well, I'll go for it. I was about to say you're just saying ESPN is salty. Continue.
My other rant is on the turf. Naturally, I have to say something about the turf because we were watching it earlier, and I think I was talking to you about this, DJ, before we came on air. Like, if you were watching the Germany game, they actually zoomed in on the players' feet, and you just saw chunks of rubber just up. And that was disgusting. I mean, those chunks of rubber are 130 degrees. Can you imagine getting hit with a
legitimately ground up tire?
Yeah. It's like getting hit in the leg with a chunk of burning tire. Like, it's disgusting that the best players in the world playing the best event in the world have to play on that BS. And my other rant is this whole Sepp Blatter thing, the corruption thing. I'll let you have the major rant on this one, Grant. All I'm gonna say about it is, again, I'm pissed off that it's taking away from the game. Like, I'm pissed off that all of these things are taken away from the World Cup because the Women's World Cup has come so far. The women's game has come so far from where it was even 4 years ago, but we still have a long way to go, and we don't need this crap overshadowing the game. Like, it's not okay. No part of this is okay. So that's my rant.
All right, Graham, what do you have to? What is something that's been ticking you off you want to rant about?
Blatter. Sepp Blatter's always pissing me off.
Always.
So I guess it'd be more of a joyful rant that he's gone. I celebrated for about 48 hours. I don't know about you guys. I was out there shooting fireworks off in the street.
I pulled a Brandy Chastain. I ran around with my shirt off for a little while.
Yeah. I got out of my room and I went around the house screaming at my roommates, letting them know, and they're just like, "Who the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, "You don't even know, man. This is huge." John Oliver put it best, I think. If anyone's seen his bit on it, I've shared it. It's on my Twitter, it's on my Facebook if you guys want to go check it out. It is fantastic. He just lays it out the way it is. But what a victory for the women's game. Timing could have been better. But that is one less problem that the women's soccer has to deal with. The only thing that we can keep our fingers crossed for and pray for is that another old corrupt man does not take his place.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming with his wheelchair and everything.
Yeah, so it's death for him, so.
I think you should run, DJ.
Yeah, I know. I should run. Would you guys vote for me?
I would. You got my vote. I might run against you, but I'd still vote for you.
You know what? We need to do hashtags. You're going to say a vote for Graham for FIFA president, a vote for DJ for FIFA. I bet you it would get popular, though, too, if we did something like that. Just randomly hashtags for it. So we'll do that for the World. We'll do that boringly during the World Cup. But yeah, Sepp Blatter, that's a good rant, though.
There'd be no turf.
Shoot, that's a major
NWSL would get FIFA sponsorship.
Yeah. I feel like, though, the main thing was the whole turf thing. It kind of I guess for me, it's taken away from it a bit because I keep thinking about it and the fact that they're having a reporter tell you the weather. Like she said, I'm a meteorologist now, or I'm taking the temperature of the field. It's just kind of weird. It feels like they're experimenting with their game, and then it's like,
thing. There actually is a study. I don't know if it's out yet. I read about this prior to the World Cup when the lawsuit and everything was really coming into action, but the University of Washington put out a study of cancer connected to turf. They had 2 or 3 goalies that got diagnosed with cancer, and they're thinking they're tracing it back to the turf pellets because all the turf pellets is ground up tire. Think of the amount of carcinogens and crap that a tire goes through. You don't know where a tire's been. And that's the goalies are spending half the game in that diving. It's getting in their eyes and their mouth, and not only the goalies but all the players are dealing with this, and it's everywhere. So as good as turf has gotten, and as much as they want to say turf can be a good thing, it really has no place in the beautiful game that is soccer.
Yeah, now that sounds even worse now. So I'm really against it to hear that. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible.
All right.
So thanks a lot for experimenting with their game and killing people. That's what we can say almost. Yes, that's the best way to put it. That's absolutely horrible. Anywho, you guys have anything else you want to say before we call it a wrap? This is a good show. The World Cup show needed to be big and long like this and just good, fun discussion. So good job guys. But anything you want to say, Jen? Wrap it up.
No, I think I'm good. I think I'm on Thursday, so I'll see y'all on Thursday. I'll be back then. So it'll be another good time.
I mean, I'm guessing you're on for a review. Was it are you on the review? I'm guessing it is, or a preview. It's one of the two. I can't remember everyone exactly. So
I don't know. It might be both.
Yeah, you might be.
We play tomorrow, and then we play again on Friday. So.
Yeah, so you might be on the. She's going to be on a couple of the preview shows. You'll see Graham. I'm guessing Graham, you're on a review preview, one of the two, right?
Yeah, I'll be back on the 11th for sure.
Okay, and then you might be back for the final if everything works out. I'm guessing. That's it, guys.
Yeah.
So hopefully you enjoyed watching. We really went in depth with the team. It was real fun. We're going to tweet out about the contest again so everyone knows about it. Like I said, for those who watched, you have an upper hand. You could probably be tweeting now because I might just accept the first people that actually gave the right answer. You never know. We'll choose random.
It should be real fast, guys. Cutthroat. Go.
I host DJ Red Cat Fred Durst, and I might be changing my red cap to Wash the Spirit, so I'll be DJ Wash the Spirit fan.
You can change that red cap to a red star.
Or I could be DJ Red Star Chicago, so you might call me DJ MJ Air Jordan or something. I will see you guys. I will be seeing you guys after that Australia game with a review. We're going to have some more panelists you've seen before.
I can't promise I'll have a voice.
He won't have a voice. He won't have a voice, but he'll be there.
I'm just on TV, man.
Oh, it's going to be a ton of yelling at this TV for this whole World Cup.
It's going to sound like Doc Rivers when I come back on here.
And we'll see you guys later. We'll take it easy. All right, guys. You have a good one, and we'll check you out this whole World Cup. Just sub to the channel because there's going to be a ton of shows. Take care. Bye-bye. Everyone waves. Everyone.